Hello everyone, this is Moshe, the Electric Israeli and FSD. If you're new, please subscribe and help me change the world one electric car at a time. Thank you to all of my supporters and follow me on X. And if you are in the market to buy an EV, a Tesla car, of course, please use my referral code. You get some great discounts. I have to tell you, I've been following this story for quite a while, for months. So a lot of videos, and the premise of this idea is our Chinese EVs end up in a graveyard. A lot of fake videos came out. That's why I didn't want to comment on that. Now I want to share with you. I'm running in the background this video. I will put a link for you to watch it. I recommend you do it. It's from a channel called Inside China Auto. It was also an article in the in Electric, and I would put a link for that as well. I really highly recommend you watch this. So this guy who visited a so-called Chinese graveyard of electric cars, basically, if you think about, if you do all the counting, it was about 20,000 electric cars that are ending up what you see outside of cities, in yards, forests. I mean, this is weird stuff. And what are these cars? So those who hate electric cars, they always find reasons why to come up with why they hate electric cars, and electric cars are nobody wants them, and then people just throwing them away. Of course, it's nonsense. But what happened in this particular case? These electric cars are of ride-sharing cars. Okay, companies like BAIC, BJEV, EC3, and on. Neta cars, all kinds of startups that thought that ride sharing in Beijing is a good idea. It completely failed and flopped because it is impossible to do ride sharing. Now, this is a ride sharing where you pick up the car and drive it and drop it off wherever you want. There are one like this in Canada, in many places around the world. It's a common thing. You just park it somewhere. But in mega cities in China, there's no place you can park them. It's very difficult. People just didn't like it. They rather take the train or other public transportation, which get them much faster because they don't have to worry about parking anything. So it just ended up not working, and those companies bankrupt. So that's number one. Number two, companies in China, electrical companies come and go like mushrooms. Okay, they all get become startup companies, but most of them, 95% of them fail. So that's number two. Number three, which is even more important, these are cars that have barely 100 miles range, and some of them even have 50 miles range. So obviously, at the beginning of the electric car revolution, let's say in 2010, I used to have a Nissan Leaf with 87 miles of range. Okay, and it was great. I drove it like 40,000 miles. This is around town, but obviously today I will not even think buying a car with that kind of range. So that's failed. Okay, many of them had car accidents. Many of them were not maintained well, so they just became junk cars. And if you watch the whole video, at the end of the video, he's talking about Volkswagen cars and Toyota BZ4X that nobody wants to buy, like brand new car that nobody wants to buy. Even the Chinese don't like these Toyota cars. So they ended up there just parked because nobody wants to buy them. Now there is some kind of a scam of these companies who just take the incentives. They register the cars as if somebody bought them, a la the ride sharing, but they're not. It's not really, nobody's owning them, but they get the incentives, and then they all fail and bankrupt. So the worst part about this, the absolute worst part about this, is that nobody's recycling them. They're just sitting there. They're not leaking. They're not doing anything. They're just sitting there, and they have batteries, maybe, from what I can tell, 24 to 30 kilowatt hour battery, and this is great raw material to have and recycle and everything else that's in it. So hopefully they'll be recycled. So don't believe if you see, electric cars end up in junkyard. It's a lot of fake news out there. That's why I didn't want to talk about it for a long time. But that's the truth story. All right. Hope this was helpful for you. Thank you guys for watching. See you next time.